morning, everybody, from a very cool Johannesburg this morning. I think winter is really here. So everybody stay warm. I think we're going to need a few fires, maybe a cup of soup or something. So this morning is going to really sound like the news. The stories I came across is all things that have happened the last week. And the first one is that Trevor Manuel will be retiring from Old Mutual's board as chairman at the close of its annual general meeting in June. It marks the exit of one of the last first-generation architects of South Africa's post-apartheid economic framework from frontline leadership. Over 3 decades, Trevor Manuel helped shape economic policy. He ran the National Treasury for 13 years. He led the country's long-term planning framework, and he later anchored corporate governance at scale. Now, Roger Jardine, businessman and former Director General in the Department of Science and Technology, will take over as chairman of Old Mutual following a structured handover period. He is as former chief executive of Aveng, where he led a major restructuring the era, but Trevor Manuel has been a stalwart in this country's economic policy. Then it was an interesting week for Absa. Their shareholders in the Absa Group overwhelmingly slammed the group's implementation of its remuneration of executives, with an astonishing 43% of the shareholders who voted saying they will not endorse the remuneration of the executives. Now, at the heart of the issue is a pay package of 148 million rand for the new CEO, Kenny Fichler, for 2025, and specifically a bonus of 23 million. In May, the world's largest proxy advisory firm, Institutional Shareholder Services, ISS, flagged the company's proposal for compensation and saying the explanation given for not prorating his bonus to time served was not sufficiently compelling. So while this vote in the Absa Group by the shareholders is non-binding and a so-called advisory vote, it has to be seen as a serious indictment of the group's REMCOM, the Remuneration Committee, because to achieve a result where 43% of those at the AGM voted against the resolution would need most of its top 10 shareholders, who held 53% of the bank shares at the end of December, to vote against it. And there's a few big names in there. So it will be interesting to see how they deal with it. It seems that there are some changes in the boards of some of the big South African listed companies. And then the last story I came across is something that underpins a principle that we've been speaking about at FPI over the last while, and that's getting a lot of attention from us as well, which is data and the quality of your data and ensuring that your data is correct. And why I'm mentioning this is because this is what took a toll in the transfer of the biggest medical aid administrations between Bonitas and Momentum Health. So Bonitas ended their 43-year partnership with MedScheme and is moving over their administration to Momentum Health. But it has not been a smooth transition. There's been scores of people venting their frustration. There were issues with pre-authorizations that couldn't be done, and I don't know what else, but it seems to be an enormous mess. Bonitas says that its transfer to the new administrator has been complicated by unresolved legacy issues and further worsened by healthcare providers that are not moving to new digital platforms. So it emerged that there were almost 10,000 outstanding matters relating to authorizations not having been granted, savings, refunds, claims, queries, and other unresolved requests that affected members, brokers, and healthcare providers. And data anomalies, particularly in historical member data, have exacerbated some of these challenges. So it seems that the data, together with all the outstanding matters, has really been an issue. And they also pointed a finger at healthcare providers, saying that despite the communication efforts to ensure that they were aware of changes in digital platforms, they have been slow to adopt these, which is causing additional delays. Now, if we want to learn from that, change management, very important, as well as making sure that your data is correct in order to not have the same issues. Then at FPI, if you are under 40 and you're a young financial planner, please join us for our YFPO event in July. The invite is on our social media, or contact us at certification@fpi.co.za if you need more information. It is going to be a Friday afternoon of fun for all our young planners, and we look forward to seeing you there.